Okay, welcome back. Today we have something a little bit special for you. You're going to get some insight into our laser coaching sessions where Kate and I coach students personally. Now, of course, our CCA students always have access to our coaching calls twice a month, and then, of course, our fabulous Facebook group as well. But these are special calls where we really get to dig into their specific questions in that moment. They're only 10 minutes, but boy, do we pack a lot of coaching and information in there. The topics are going to run the gamut. So no matter what you are interested in as a copywriter, even though you're not in the hot seat, I guarantee that you're going to hear something useful and interesting. Also, just a heads up that in a couple of the recordings, students mention Pitchapalooza and Right Starts, which are a couple of our student-only events. They're free for our students, and as with everything we do, they're designed to get people taking action and seeing success. So when you hear that reference, just know that that's what they are. So without further ado, let's dig into our laser coaching sessions. Hey, Kory.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello, how are you?
Doing good.
What can we help
Yeah,
you
y'all
with?
got a pretty stacked schedule, so I understand. Well, and I'm gonna try and stay on topic too, because I know
Mm,
our time is brief and want to stay focused. So, um, just like a real quick synopsis, I am 1 month in to my full-time copywriting freelance
hey,
career. Um, on today's March 3rd. On February 3rd was my last day at my 9 to 5 job, and
yeah,
Congratulations.
so
happy
I took,
anniversary.
thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. I took the leap with 0 clients on board at the beginning. I'd been kind of trying to do it on the side for a while, and just for various reasons, we calculated our risk and what we thought was possible as a family, and just said like, let's attempt this full time. And so I've had some pretty cool headway for the first, considering it's the first month and where I started, and have a couple of like content writing gigs that I'm doing for a web developer, and have at least some kind of steady stream of low paying work, but it's writing work, and getting that kind of stuff going. So my questions and kind of things I want to focus on today is about email marketing.
Mhm.
And so, really, when I look down the road and say, like, where do I want my copywriting career to go? What do I want to become specialized in and skilled in? That's the one thing I want to focus on the
Okay.
most is email marketing. I don't have a background in that. And so, as with, I think, a lot of CCA students, it's like you're coming from that place of, I know how to write, and I may even have a lot of marketing knowledge and stuff
Mhm.
like that, but I don't have the portfolio or those kind of things to show.
Mhm.
And so I kind of just wanted to ask, what's, just for starters, like, what's a good place to start when it comes to finding email marketing jobs? Are there certain like sectors or kinds of businesses that I would want to approach, or just general thoughts? Like, where would you recommend I start?
Well, here's the thing, right? Every business uses email, and just about every business could be doing it more effectively. I think my question for you is, when you say email marketing, what kind of projects do you see yourself working on?
Sure. Honestly, like, I just look at this stuff and feel like the sky is the limit for what I believe I'm capable of, and for
Mhm.
what I would say, like, what do I want to accomplish? I would love to be in a place, eventually in my copywriting career, where businesses are looking at me like, this guy is an incredible asset, to our revenue stream, to our emails being effective, is knowledgeable about them. And so I have a desire to go very deep into that.
Great.
Um, and, so I'm kind of right now just trying to gauge, like, what's the right place to start. So for example, I had a pitch meeting with a local, like, small scale outdoor outfitter that has a like really basic DIY website up.
Mhm.
And, that's a company that I look at and say, like, how would I pitch like an email marketing concept to a company like that, who's still
Mhm.
thinking small and has a small audience? Like, they're not going to go and compete with a really large retailer that has a massive
Mhm.
online presence. They're trying to connect with people more local. And so I think people's inboxes and their email is a good place for them to be thinking about. So how do
Sure.
I don't know, how do you see that kind of stuff, or how have y'all approached
Do they have
those
an email
emails?
list, that client? Just using them as an example. Do they have?
We didn't get into depth about that kind of stuff, so I don't know. I don't think so. And so, I think it would be like starting totally from the ground up about like helping them understand the worth of that kind of approach, of marketing approach. And
I mean,
so
that's kind of pitching as a whole right there, right? Is identifying something that they're not doing. It's that value-based pitching, right? Identifying something that they're not doing or they could be doing better, and then explaining to them exactly how that's going to benefit their business. And I mean, that's also part of the research point too, especially if you want to be focusing on email marketing. You should never be talking to a client. If you want to focus on email marketing, you should never be talking to a client if you haven't opted into their email list and like dug deep, read their emails. What happens after they opt in for the emails? What do they receive? Because that's where you're going to learn what they're doing and what they could be doing differently.
Okay.
And I would frankly opt into lots of different companies' emails so that you can start to get ideas of what can I be pitching different companies and focus your pitching. You don't necessarily have to niche in the sense of industry, but if email is something you want to grow and you want to get pieces for your portfolio to demonstrate that, then focus your pitching on those opportunities. And I think you're going to find those opportunities in tons of different ways and places. Obviously, if they have no email, setting up a welcome series could be something that you pitch to them. If they already have email, maybe it's, oh, I saw this other person or company in this industry doing this piece. Why don't you incorporate this into your email strategy? Is it a monthly newsletter makes sense for them? What types of email projects are there? And kind of doing your research to gather just and have a list for you of inspiration of like, here are various email things. And then as you evaluate your clients that you potentially want to pitch, okay, which of these projects are they already doing? Which ones aren't they doing? What can I pitch them to kind of get your foot in the door? Because that's really right what you need to do to start, right? Is show that you're thinking strategically, get your foot in the door, and then there's a whole world of opportunity. But I would focus on doing that research and kind of really honing in on the opportunities that they have.
The reason I asked what it was about email marketing that or what kind of email marketing you want to do, because just email marketing is literally just marketing via email, which can mean sending out one email. It can mean sending out a massive campaign of email. It's all about understanding the client, doing that research to Kate's point, understanding the client, understanding what their goals are, and then understanding how you can help them meet those goals via email. And what is the best choice? Is it? Sometimes there are going to be clients where it just makes the most sense to be sending out just one email or one or two emails. And then there are going to be other clients where it makes sense to have a full campaign with all kinds of logic built in. If people don't open this one, then we send them this one. Or if people take action on this one, then we send them this one. So it can be as simple, or it can be as complicated as the client needs. So that's really the email marketing is a very, very broad concept. So the fun thing, the exciting thing is that you get to work with your clients to figure out what's best for them. And that's part of what will make you stand out, is because you bring that strategy to it. Like to Kate's point, you will have done the research and you know what other people are doing, and you'll come in with ideas for companies that will benefit them. And you will be there, not just a writer, you will be their strategic partner. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to ask about just like resources, books, or anything else that you feel like that y'all know of that would be good to hone this for me. Because I have a concept of that kind of stuff, but y'all have a lot of experience. And so just curious, are there good resources you'd recommend?
I would skip books, because by the time a book has time to get published, it's already like a year behind. But I would be listening to podcasts. There are all kinds of digital marketing podcasts out there. One we always recommend is Marketing School, because they have daily, it's a short one. As you start diving in, you're going to start seeing names and start following their podcasts and start reading their blog posts and all that kind of stuff, because you want people who are practicing this right now, right? Who are running the tests.
Who know the latest tactics. What's working, what's not. And then just keeping in mind too, as you reading consume information, they might be throwing out stats and knowing that like, okay, this email that we did, and here was the open rate and conversion rate, blah, 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 blah. But knowing that might not apply to each of your clients. So kind of having an idea of like, okay, this is something worth testing, but this also, it might not work across the board with everyone. So just keeping that in mind. But I still think opting into as much email as you can is going to be your best bet to finding out what people are doing, what's going on. Obviously, you're not going to know how things are performing, but you can see, as again, how we evaluate any copy in the world, whether it's effective or not, to say, okay, who's their target audience? Would I open this if I was the target audience? What are they asking me to do? Is it the next logical step? Makes sense? Because even if you're doing email, the other thing I wanted to say to you too, even if that's your focus, having a good understanding of where people are coming from and getting onto the email list, where they're going from your email. So you want to be able to partner with your clients in the sense that this is my specialty, but I have working knowledge of how this ties into the greater marketing strategy. It's not, existing in a bubble, right? It's part of part of the marketing ecosystem, if you will. And so, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that the fact of the matter is you can make the most incredible email campaign, but if they are sending them to a sales page that's a dud, it's not going to perform.
Right.
And the same thing with where they're entering from. If they are if they are running ads that are targeting the wrong audience, then nobody's opting in. It's not the email campaign's fault. It's the ad strategy. So you can certainly specialize in email marketing, but you do need to understand how all of the pieces work with that email marketing, because emails never just stand alone.
Right.
Yeah. But also Digital Marketer is a good resource. I think they have
my podcast.
Yeah, exactly. A podcast. Digital Marketer has podcasts and has also reading HubSpot, and they have a lot of good. In fact, I think I just signed up for one. What was it? A free one that somebody recommended somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Something called Stacked Marketer, STACKED. No, I have not. I've literally just received their welcome email. but it was recommended by somebody smart. So could be something good as well. But as you start to dive in, sign up for everything and, subscribe to all the podcasts. You can always unsubscribe if you listen to a couple episodes and you're like, all right, this is useless. Then unsubscribe.
Well, there might be so much information. The Art of Online Business is another one, but I feel like there might be specific episodes so like subscribing to all of these, but then choosing the ones that make most sense. So for example, one he just did, how do I verify if my evergreen funnel is working, versus, the power of context in your team's success was another episode. Maybe that's less relevant to what, what you want to learn.
Yeah. Cool. But the good news is there's a ton of content out there for you to learn and stay on top of things.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those are great recommendations. I heard your buzzer go off, so I know you got somebody else waiting. So I just wanted to tell y'all, y'all built a brand on being encouragers, and that really comes across. Y'all are doing great at that. Thank you for just being like a welcoming and encouraging presence for all of us students. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
That's
really means a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And keep us posted on how it's going.
Please do.
Use the coaching calls. I'm drumming that. I'm beating that drum real hard. I feel like, show up to coaching calls.
Really, I hear you. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
So much.
Thank you, Kory. Have a great rest of your day.
Take care.
Bye. Like what you heard? Hit subscribe so you never miss a video. And if you're ready to take the first step toward becoming a copywriter yourself, sign up for a free video training right here.